In this video, we're going to cover moving average cost and its relationship to products coming from stock and then getting passed onwards to cost of goods sold when sales orders are completed. So you might recall when we were discussing the stock section in Katana, we talked about what is moving average cost. And we even did a demo or an example of it where we take a purchase order at one price, accepted it into inventory, then did it at another price and brought it into inventory, and the material item fluctuated over time, and then it received a different average cost based on the formula of our stock value in stock divided by in-stock quantity to give you the average cost of the item. So it's very simple with materials. You buy it at different prices, it comes into stock at different costs, and then that cost gets averaged out in the average cost column. Now with products, it's basically the exact same formula, but there's a couple of things that are influencing it more than with the case of materials that you just purchase. So if we look at one example, we can see that we have a cognac colored coffee table. We presently have 1 unit in stock at a value of $285.1 US. So the total value in stock, 285.1 divided by 1 equals 285.1. Pretty straightforward. But when this item gets manufactured, then its average cost is captured by the materials it uses and how much cost is incurred from the operations that are added to it, which can fluctuate, and also the materials can fluctuate. So you might overuse materials in case you're manufacturing something. You might have somebody on the team spend too much time on an operation, but you have to still pay them for their time. So when you have a case like that, you have to be certain that what you're doing is captured. And when it's captured, it also influences the average cost of the product that you're selling, and that influences your margins. So for example, cognac colored coffee table. On the make screen, we do have an existing manufacturing order presently open. I need to accept a purchase order real fast so we can get that item in. So let's go ahead and do that real fast. And I think we should be good now. Okay, perfect. Now we have the ingredients in stock. So now that this item has its ingredients in stock, when we're looking at the manufacturing order, you see that the current total cost based on the current cost of materials plus the current cost of operations equals total cost of 285.1. Now, in the event that we overconsume, let's say wood, and instead of consuming the planned quantity of 5 meters, we actually consume like 7 meters, then that cost will incur against the original cost we had from before. So it's costing us more time to, it's costing us more in ingredients to actually manufacture this coffee table. Maybe, for example, in the cutting process, we spend 2 hours and 30 minutes instead of 1 hour and 30 minutes like we had planned. And as a result, when the manufacturing order is completed, those costs equally just as well go up. So we mark the item as done, and then those specific items are removed from inventory, and the total cost is captured at $365.1 US because we overused our material and we overspent time and operations on it compared to how we had before. So now at this point in time, we've got basically 2 products in inventory on the products page, where you can see that when we were originally had an average cost of $285.1 US, it then went up to $325.1. Now the reason for that is because when you look at your historical stock movements, this manufacturing order that was originally done on the 13th of December created 1 unit at 285.1, and then the second manufacturing order, also on the 13th of December, created an additional unit at 365.1, which gave us a total in-stock quantity of in-stock value of 650.2 divided by 2 gives us 325.1. So actually what has happened is that particular item has become more expensive to produce as a result of mistakes or overconsumption of materials in our manufacturing processes. Now, what happens at this point is when those manufacturing orders are done and we head to the sales order page where we can see that Jane, for example, ordered a coffee table in cognac color. When we complete this manufacturing order to delivered, and sales order 5 is then has its status listed as completed and is available on the Done tab in the sales order list, you will see that sales order 5 carried the cost of goods sold over from the stock screen. So the stock screen moving average cost eventually becomes the cost of goods sold for that item. And so this is how you can identify the actual costs for a material captured into moving average cost itself and then being passed on to cost of goods sold, which actually dictates what your real margin is. So if your sales price is this and your cost of goods sold is that, then your margin was bigger before when it was 285, but now your margin has gotten smaller because the cost was increased. So this is when you need to keep an eye on your cost as a manufacturing company, but this is also the way that Katana uses moving average cost as the costing logic to pass that value from the material level through the manufacturing order to the product level, through the sales order to the cost of goods sold. And that cost of goods sold is then reported for your financial accounting purposes. And that more or less is an overview of moving average cost as it travels from the product level through the sales order.